Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to HGC Korea. We have Tempest having 2-0 win, but is it really a 2-0 Rapid?
You know, I feel like the numbers don't tell the full story, right, G-Clef? Because if you split the games like in half, you could put the early games from game 1 and 2 together and give Feliz a win, and you could put the late games from games 1 and 2 together and give Tempest a win. And then it would be 1-1. But fortunately, all that matters is who wins in the end, and that's been Tempest both times.
And they do it again.
That's true.
Feliz.
Same way?
Yeah, they have a very good control of the early one. And then suddenly around level 14 to 16, they make one bad call during a team fight. And Tempest has been a team known for that team fight potential. But their macro has been suffering a lot today. We'll see. Towers of Doom, this is the map where I thought we're going to see Tyrande for sure. But I have not yet seen it from today, from HGC yet. But we're going to have that Towers of Doom finally.
I really like Towers of Doom here as the pick from Tempest because it is one of those inevitability maps, right? You can't just turtle your way out and force the opponent to pick bad fights into your core over and over again, or your top keep, or whatever it is that sometimes teams struggle to break. So Towers means that Tempest can just keep getting macro advantages, and that will be something. But, you know, maybe Feliz get a strong enough advantage early on that Tempest gets too far behind. I don't know. Feliz are playing better and better every game.
Certainly they are. And I think when they go up against Supernova on the final day, the final match, that's going to be a very exciting one because I think
so
over
much
at
on
the
the
card
line.
level and how they managed to do, and a lot of their hero pool actually overlap as well. That's the final game that we have for the entire year, before the playoff, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, like, not even just the last week, but the last day of this week is going to be super sick, too. So.
White main first ban, I think this Feliz is looking for that Tyrande first pick. I can already sense it because they're banning all the supports.
Now, if this is a Tyrande ban here...
I think Maiev will certainly be in here somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I would expect a Maiev ban. They're not going to get the ban their Sergeant Hammer, that's for sure. So that can still come out, but usually more effective as the last pick. What is this going to be? Is it just Maiev? They want to take Tyrande off the field.
They want to take Tyrande.
Yeah, it is just the Maiev ban coming through. Now, Tempest have the opportunity to deny that Tyrande first pick because they do know that it is so high priority.
But it still opens up a first pick Deckard once again. Then it's going to be very likely.
Works
unless they want to
well.
go towards a tank, because OJ did not have the same impact on that Garrosh.
Whoa! Li Ming, I mean, I guess it's good for Towers, right?
Yeah, it is not BOE. It is Towers of Doom. A little surprising to have Li Ming this early on, but sometimes when you just have to pick a mage all before everything, this can be a map.
Does this force Tempest to grab Deckard? I mean, force is maybe a little bit too strong a word because they'd want it anyway, but denying that combo would be a good option. Yeah, they do take the Deckard away, and the Diablo picks, I guess, pretty expected.
With a Li Ming alone, it will be very hard to kill a Diablo.
Yeah.
Even not with the full stack souls. So Feliz has to think in other terms. Tychus is not a hero that they like. Hanathan did play few Martel, but only very little times.
All right, going back for the Horde.
So they're gonna go all green Jesus here.
Yeah, the green skin's very well represented. I like the idea that they are getting Thrall. It was banned against them earlier, so they finally get a chance to pilot that. You know what could be their last game of the series? Backs up against the wall. They do also get the Garrosh, which performed super well in the early game, game 2.
Targeting Hanathan's hero now.
Yeah.
With the global on this map, it just makes it easier to grab, especially the triple altar that we have on this map. That just gives a lot more power to Dehaka all the time, so that's a ban for Hanathan.
Let's see what this final ban is. You know, Feliz do have a penchant for banning Sergeant Hammer. They might just wanting to take that out. No, they take the Blaze out of the way.
Because it feels like it's going to be a Rainer draft from Tempest.
Okay.
And they would just love to keep it ranged against Scaros once again. Against Thrall, even better.
Yeah, you mentioned that Feliz don't like to play Malthael either. So with Blaze, a lot of times we'll see that as maybe a counter pick, so it's not going to come out. Just like a a minor thought. What is the pick? Yeah, there's the Rainer comp that you were talking about. So
if they go safe, they can just go Irel once again. Yes, I was about to say Sonya, and I think they are about to bring that Sonya out. So Medivh right before that, because if you have that Sonya out, it's way too easy for Feliz to actually read. And they can't ban Medivh, but they can actually bring their own Medivh. Medivh with Garrosh. Pretty scary when you have Leeming to get that reset, pointing, focusing on one. So this is a very smart drafting from Tempest. I like it a lot.
Now Zeratul and getting the Karazim. Now this is a little bit reminiscent of, what was it, that Ballistics Tempest game, where Tempest, the one game they won, they drafted just a lot of dive against the Rainer, and were able to blow him up consistently. Zeratul, very, very good at that. But the problem is that I don't know if this will be quite as good. Obviously, it doesn't have the Maiev that Tempest used.
They have a lot of melee, but some flashy ones, especially with Zeratul now. And it goes back to Irel. So, first of all, they were considering Sonya for sure, because they have the members that would bring out that Sonya, and it's quite scary. Any of their members, Dami, good, and Lockdown. But after seeing that Zeratul, maybe if you go full in, one Void person can actually cancel everything that we're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you VP Medivh, then all of a sudden, if Rainer can't get into the VP to save himself, kind of, well, all of a sudden it just looks pretty bad for him. That Unstoppable is just going to be so valuable against the dive. We'll see if that is maybe the counter to it. I don't know. I just want to see Tempest look better in the early game, or Feliz take an early game advantage and snowball it all the way. We'll see if that is possible. Game 3?
Yeah, with the Irel last week, I think overall a safer choice. Dami Irel has been buying a lot of time, so the entire team can actually get a lot of value on their rotations.
Yeah.
I think just focusing on the rotation of Tempest is the key of today. Feliz has been punishing that a lot. Already have Crash Lightning locked in again. Even after some nerfs, we're seeing Crash Lightning back in the meta, boys.
Sometimes it does take just a little bit longer than you would expect to stack up, but usually it is actually okay, even like you said with the nerfs. So here we go, getting a chance to see a faster trip out of the base for Tempest, so they get a little bit of an advance warning. Lockdown with the first, well, not first blood, but first bit of damage done. And Feliz actually has been punishing Tempest a lot for their early game. Sign specifically, they first blooded him last game, so something to keep an eye on. You can see Aimer fishing that Spirit Wolf, trying to get any little bit damage done that he can. Feral Spirit, not turning into a wolf. That's the other one.
That's the Rhaegar.
The other green
and Proxy
skin.
Wolf.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah, that's the other
You guys
one.
wonder where Wolf is. He just
went
Spirit
back to
Wolfed
nature.
away.
He'll be back when the full moon's gone. That's how it works,
I don't
guys.
even know if it's a full moon. The last time I looked at the moon at night was quite a while ago. I need my Farmer's Almanac.
I know, because we stay home, play games all the time. That's our lives.
True.
Yes,
I need to like paint a moon on my ceiling. Just
but
to
in terms of the lane,
okay.
Zeratul Irel wrecked Zeratul a lot. Unless the skill match, unless the mechanical skill match is
the big mismatch, yeah.
Very different. Zeratul is going to have a tough time. You could see the HB bar on the Zeratul all the time. That's even after the fountain tap.
Yeah. So already fountain used. And Urel, if she feels any pressure at all, can just walk back to fountain, come back, and it's just like realistically going to be impossible for Zeratul to out damage her. I mean, best case scenario, can just go cleave the lane down and try to soak that way. So he's just running from mid to top and just trying to split against the lane, not against the hero against it.
When Medivh comes, it can be a different story. When they want to chase, they will have all the portal to chase. But with that, they do have to be careful a little bit and do wonder if they are Karazim pick after seeing that Medivh. It's usually, if not Deckard, Malfurion to actually root on top of that portal so they don't get the value too much out of it.
Yeah.
But you do get the trade on those skills. But it is Karazim this time, and they're just trying to have one isolated Garrosh toss, the Wrecking Ball, maybe Sunder from Thrall. That's just enough to get a kill onto Leeming. That's what they're focusing on. This first kill again.
You know, it seems like a lot to ask with how mobile Li Ming is, right? But I mean, anything can happen. Sign if he's able to get in
better.
there. Yeah, it's hard to believe G-Clef. You know, I didn't come into casting heroes until, you know, maybe last year, and so I missed out on a lot of the glory days of many of the very strong heroes that now aren't quite so powerful.
Still quite powerful.
Oh, look at the Kessler lockdown! There's the flip! Lockdown in a lot of trouble.
Very good healing from Hyde, though, and blocking a lot of the shots, so that will not be a kill. Great teamwork. Sign blocking, Hyde blocking for his brother.
One of my favorite subreddits is Second Health Bar, where you ever play those games where bosses feel like they just never die?
Oh, that's a grab on Hyde. Protected, by the way. It's going to be a lot of damage removed.
Here's the teamwork we're looking for from Tempest, finally really kicking in.
Dami's already here. That's a hammer, and gone OJ.
Very well played. The coordination, I mean, that's all you can say about that. Righteous hammer there at the end to kind of secure that final kill. This is what we expect from Tempest.
It's been some time that we have not had a Medivh game. Feliz is quite underestimating what Medivh can do. Protecting someone that's tossed, I think Medivh it's a secondary support in this case. And later on, when the base level quest is done, he will actually do a lot of damage as well. Good, not really known too well as a Medivh player, but he did play Medivh a couple of times whenever they had to play.
Look at that protected. You get hit with the full burst from Li Ming. Oh wait, doesn't matter. Very well timed there. Really working out so well. And you know, Dami, like you said, there's nothing that Zeratul can do against Yrel for the most part top lane. So he's just gonna have to take the L up there and let Yrel take out the entire wall in front of his fort.
At least they're looking for a kill, but it's a double support situation, and the burst damage that they need to bring will be protected. And this is a very scary draft.
Scroll locking down. He is so dead.
Yes. That's completed souls already. The kills and all the minions stacking up. Quite early of a soul gathering. With Kerosene Dad, they're going to lack on sustain, so they do have to carefully manage their HP now because altars are coming soon.
I love Hyde pushing up with scrolls just over and over again. So oppressive to deal with. You just cannot get stunned. You get stunned, you are dead. So, or rooted, I guess. Hyde helping his team push up to that wall. But now, tries up again, and we'll see if they can take these altars down.
Little long way back there. I think Dami would like to stop him, but he also wants to go all the way. Zeratul actually goes all the way up. Seems like they're giving up on this auto fight.
Yeah, I would have thought that you at least try to harass and stop that. I guess they are just giving up on it. And oh, this is worrying for Feliz because every other game they've at least had an early game advantage to work with, and now this one, Tempest just are not willing to give them anything.
It's a tough one when you actually do not have the best laning on top, because you will always most likely to have late joining into a team fight or losing experience if you leave early. That's the power of Yrel, what she has in the meta right now. Not super quick, but pretty quick wave clear, plus has mobility of her own.
Well, it's wave clear, sustain, just everything all in one. Very, very solid. If you're just picking for lane, for sure. So, working out very well for Tempest this game, and of course their macro looks much better as well. Mostly Medivh just able to fly everywhere that he needs to be.
We're all going for quest and quest. Again, Frostwolf there. See the stack, 4 stacks, down. Okay, 15 stacks on Crash as well. But if he misses or dies, that's all gonna be gone.
Lockdown maybe a little bit greedy going for that tower kill. He does get it, so no punishment, but worrying. Because all it takes is like a couple of picks, and all of a sudden Tempest advantage is just a whole lot weaker.
Level 10, not yet Feliz, they just hit level 10. So in this small choke point, they do have a wave. They have Sundering, that's Thrall.
Look at Hanatan getting back in on the lockdown. The VP only to take out Good, but he just comes out of it, and there's the kill coming through. One after another after another. Now with Hyperion gone, there's, I mean, not as much damage coming through, but that allows Aimer to survive. Oh, lockdown, is he dead? Oh my god! There we
Gets
go.
one down.
Sickest kill there by Feliz to turn that into not a total loss.
Wasn't a little of a confident move from Tempest after taking 2 kills. Oh, we can surely take 2 more because
heroic.
we have Medivh, we have the protection and everything else for our side. But because actually they had their own casualty, they can't pressure all the way into this one. Of course, they're leading big time, 32-20 now.
Yeah. Very large difference, and that is sort of the oppressive advantage that can happen on this map. It just feels like the more you lose in the macro, the harder it is to have any way to come back. This is more of an objective map than one where you can ignore those and just push down a lane.
It was a great BP to start, but Aimer was actually holding that Sundering all the way till the end of the team fight. I think that was actually a good choke point where you can do a lot of damage and displace a lot of the team members of Tempest. So they cannot be in range of the protection from Medivh, which is tough to do, of course.
Oh yeah, I mean obviously very difficult. Oh, Aimer.
Lornado getting one.
There. Yeah, Lornado almost bumps it back into danger zone, but still good. Push completed there for Medivh is good.
Yeah,
the rest of
the touch is done. 9 minutes. But not going to lose the stacks anymore, so not as scared.
Here comes Hyperion again to call down onto the keep or the bell tower, I guess I should say. That is going to go down, and seven-sided even through all of that damage. We still have good Dami Hyde back alive in the back. Now, still no Rainer's a big deal here though, G-Club.
Rainer was protected, but burst right after was the key, and Medivh was BP'd right after, so no more following up protection coming through. So there's one more, but still 4v5. They have to focus well, Feliz. And
4v5.
Focus well, I mean it's hard when the target is protected, and that's why they were able to actually win the sustain plus the damage in this case. Nicely done by Tempest.
They really are playing this game just night and day differently than their first two. So you're starting to see exactly one of the reasons why they are one of the best teams here in HGC Korea.
Lovely coordination in this case. Medivh pick certainly working out when you have to focus and kill, getting a kill on Li Ming. When you have, of course, a Will. Good, actually providing really good protection for the teammates. Just in the right time.
Trying to contest Sappers. But I mean, OJ's half health even before this starts. They can't do anything to stop it. They'll try to just pick them off before they get to lane, but I mean, that is still not that great. Oh, they're going to get closer and closer to that bell tower. Bell tower's super low. And if Tempest can take that out, all they do is just defend that, and then they just win even faster. Even more quickly, to be correct.
Double that core HP to Tempest. And Feliz this time without a global. Seems like their macro is not falling perfectly for them. And it's very annoying when that Raven is just on top of your head the entire time.
That's what we like to call counterplay, G-Clef. Or the lack thereof, for as much as that matters. Now OJ just getting pressured down. Sure, he's got armor, but he's still not the way he wants to start the fight off. Lockdown doing a good job poking forward, but sometimes that's a liability. Sometimes he gets picked off, and that is, you know, I would have thought that would matter, but they didn't have Rainer in that last fight, and they were still winning 4v5.
Leyline was the big tool. And they would like to have, there's a taunt, can't go into portal, but now she can, and she's an Irel after all.
I love how you have to add that at the end of your sentence, G-Club, but
didn't even have to use or the defender.
Yeah. It feels like sometimes Urel's most powerful ability is like the ability to walk away.
Yeah, but OJ's challenge will be back soon.
Yep.
It's not on the longest cooldown.
Yeah, really short cooldown. I think it's shorter than Bunker, right?
Yes, I think so.
So yeah, very short cooldown. We'll have that
but Irel's the only one all the way up there. Tempest, at least they need to get a kill here. Trying to grab on fight. No Medivh for protect this time.
Yeah, even with Lornado, it just gets taken out immediately. And now, where do they go next? Can they take out Sign? No, it looks like he's just too tanky and lockdown, too high damage behind that. But hey, it's going to be a alter cap for Feliz.
But a win-win for Tempest. They only lose one member. They get 8 shots in. When Tempest, they think they won the team fight, but suddenly you only get 1 and 4 shots, and you lose 8 of your core health and says, wait. I thought he won the team fight.
What's the thing is that killing heroes actually doesn't matter. Like, all it matters is how many shots you get on the court, because you can lose all your heroes and your opponents push forward. Maybe they take a bell tower, but they can't hit your core. So you get a chance to respawn. Here we go. There's seven-sided. Nice protection immediately to save Sign, prevent him from getting burst out. And now OJ, yeah, sure he's able to run away, but even with the knockback, Dami's got one of his own. Nice thundering to disengage, but I don't even think that's going to save them. They retreat back to their bell tower. But just look at how much they've lost.
Yeah, this bell tower is actually really low too.
Yeah.
So with the Sapper, if there's 2 going in, we'll actually take him down. Maybe they'll just save one for an extra shot onto the core that could happen after all. Next one, I think only a single altar at the bottom. So luckily for Feliz, they can actually macro out later on. Try to keep their bell tower will be the best thing, because if they don't, this bell tower is destroyed. Okay, it's going to be destroyed for sure. Because they don't have an escape if this one's gone, because it's going to be on Tempest's side.
I mean, hey, at least the Sappers didn't hit the core, right? That's still bad to lose a bell tower. I mean, maybe Feliz can come back, take it back, and stabilize, but it's just so hard to do once you're down this many core shots.
Yeah, the timing is not perfect for them to actually take it down. They don't have enough time. The altar is spawning at 13. And the bell tower just spawned now for Tempest.
What do you do? All right, there's overpower onto OJ, flipping it back in, but that's actually right where he wants to be. The heals, the protection, onto lockdown. Can he survive and stay alive for long enough? No! He gets taken down there. Garage, the final one for the kill credit. Maybe Feliz can come back from here. Nice BP to stall out the fight, but they'll just go be going right back into it. Oh, lightning breath crushes Li Ming. Jonathan wants to go back in, but he's got no health. He tries and gets right back out again, and that's not going to be what his team want to see, and everyone will fall here in the end. Low health bars for Tempest. They will still take this fight.
Ooh, but 4 left alive. Very fiery fight, and this time, good wins. Leyline beats that VP. Look at that.
I don't even know how that interaction works. It turns out
not the interaction. It didn't happen at the same time.
Well,
Zeratul was trapped in the ley line before he got to use that VP.
Well, the idea is like the interaction of like how you use both of them to maximum effectiveness. I thought the VP was just going to be able to be used better, because you can kind of see the ley line coming, right? The VP just drops.
No, always the best was Hanatan had one job: to track, keep that Medivh in that Void Prison all the time. This time it did not happen. He was in stasis because of that ley line. Good. Had a very good read of where Zeratul was, and that's going to be game with that boss taken, guys. 3-0. Another one for Feliz. I think they played the great series tonight.
Oh, they really did. Specifically games 1 and 2. And sure, game 3 looked a little bit more rough, but that was Tempest's map pick, and you can see exactly why they picked it. A very oppressive advantage from that macro control. And Tempest looked much improved by the last game. So still a lot to say about that victory. Still a 3-0, but that doesn't really tell the whole story.
Yep, that too. And it scares me that Tempest, because they do have to have some big match coming up. The one against Blossom, that's right below them. The one against Miracle. That's going to be a very crazy one. If Miracle defeats Tempest, the only team that will be outside of top 3, defeating all the top 3 teams in one part.
Never happened.
Even defeating 2 teams never happened.
No.
3 times there will be I will officially call the top 3 team Slayer if that happens.
Yeah, they are the tyrants. It feels like they perform better when they play against better teams. So here's the recap of game number 3. We'll have the highlight video coming up later on after the interview. But yeah, this is just a very, very strong performance from Tempest. Everything just looked so much more improved.
Yeah. Oh, this is the highlight part. But in fact, blah, 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 blah. That's like 1999. You have to call right away. But at the end, battery's not allowed.
That's right. Battery's not included.
Text not included.
Yeah. I just want to point out, G-Clef, so like game 1 and game 2, right? You're like really frustrated with Tempest because obviously they're struggling, right? Well, you guys had to put up with grumpy grandpa G-Clef. Tempest could play better. But game 3, right? IRL Deckard right here. But game 3, Tempest, like, was a pleasure to watch. Anytime you get a chance to see whether it's Genji playing extremely well or Tempest or any of the top teams, you watch them play such an oppressive, perfect rotations, the great coordination early on. It's a thing of beauty. You could tell that the G-Clef gods were appeased.
Need to go to the bathroom?
we did let them take a little bit of a break. Maybe that was the cure. I don't know. The commercial break kind of
NA has a cure,
things.
but not Korea. Well, I don't know if that cure actually cures the entire region, but it was a fun series, and Medivh coming in really strong. There was a good reason.
Very well
Zero Two was actually a good counter against it as well. But
yeah,
got to see some good interaction, how one was trying to beat each other, just 1v1 there in the middle of the team fight.
And finally, in the end, that ley line just totally beat the VP that didn't come through. So very well played and cool dynamic. And it does give Tempest the win in Game 3, and of course the win overall, 3-0 over Team Feliz. So Feliz, unfortunately, they lose that game, and I think that will drop them down below Supernova.
Yes, they will go back down to 7th place. And Glug right below them, but Glug is going against Miracle right after in the second match. We do have the best of 5 once again. Feliz, they're 7th in Korea. But in terms of their strength, I think they are actually a little higher because right now, I would say top 4 teams in Korea are very strong. And the middle ground, I think Blossom actually falls a little bit below and near where Supernova was actually a little higher than Supernova and Feliz is. But we'd have that middle ground a lot lower than before.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool time to be a fan of HGC Korea because it used to be so striated, right? It's like the fossil record, right? You can tell this is the Cretaceous, the Jurassic. I don't know my periods, but like you could tell the tier list, right? But now things are getting mixed up a little bit. Tempest struggling a little bit, both in their games today, but just overall. And teams like Miracle really punching above their weight. So maybe Blossom can play spoiler to all of this and really start playing super well and make a case for themselves to make it to BlizzCon, but it's going to be a big struggle.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. Tempest versus Blossom. If Tempest actually has this kind of macro early game, Blossom, they will never let that snowball go. Not like Feliz, what they did in the late game. Blossom will make less mistakes in their macro
Blossom do know how to close out a game.
Yes, and I think that will be a big problem if this happens once again tomorrow. But Tempest, they have a 3-0 today. Let's see who we have for the interview. We're going to have a look at the highlight very soon as well, but I think we should have good today.
I would like to hear from good. I want to hear both what the cool dynamic was between that like VP ley line and who locks down the team. I want to
ask a question in the draft. Like, did you think about Medivh? Was this practiced?
Maybe
or did you think about it at the moment because this was required?
Maybe we interview Lockdown and find out how he died at Sergeant Hammer. Down in the bottom lane when we missed that. Here's a highlight reel from this game, and it's not all going to be Tempest winning. I mean, this right here is still a struggle, and finally, the fight where they turn everything around, that stay a while towards the bottom, catches out the very strong Sergeant Hammer from Dudu, takes him out, and everything from now on out is just all Tempest all the time.
Yeah, ever since this moment says Tyrande has to be banned, Tempest bans out Tyrande at game 2 and 3. This is game 2. We have lots of OJ getting smashed, and even Sign getting called a little bit when they had the synergy, but this was the fight. Got that BFG, the arrow perfectly landing, and anything comes. Guys, what's happening?
A thing of
Mrs.
beauty.
Isolation.
And it's just all going from bad to worse here.
And drag.
Hannah, it was a struggle that game. Let's not be too hard on the poor guy.
And look at that, VP trapping Medivh all the time, except for the last one. And when there's no protection, usually, not this one, usually,
here we go.
Feliz was able to outwin, but this is the one that actually was a trap in that lane line before.
Yeah.
And I want to come into VP too. A Thunder, a Diablo, he's unstoppable anyhow, but protected as well. So that's like basically invincible, right?
And how much more protection and stoppability do you need? You just need everything, I guess.
Unstoppable, you're protected, you are in stasis. How many crowd control can you have at a time?
So let's head into our interview. Take it away, G-Clef.
네, 오늘 3대0 무난한 승리의 템페스트 다미 선수와 인터뷰 시작하도록 하겠습니다.
We'll have an interview
축하드려요.
with the lady from the ski resort.
다시 서브탱으로 포지션 바꾸시면서
talk to Dami.
화려한 귀환하셨는데 오늘 소감 일단
How do
어떠신가요?
you feel?
오늘 이제
Came back to the
포지션을
sub-
다시 바꾸고
Sub-tank.
경기를 해봤는데 이제 아직 부족한 것 같아서 더 열심히 해야 될 것
I
같습니다.
think we still lacking a
아직
lot of the
부족한 것
parts.
같으세요?
We will have to.
아니 근데 뭐 1일
Work a
3연속
lot harder.
하시면서 거의 경기 이끄셨어요 오늘. 위에서도 2대1 싸움도 많이 하시고 이 정도면 이제 거의 다미 선수의 심볼 캐릭인데 머리 스타일도 약간 비슷하고
I think with your
머리
Erel,
이렇게 될 것 같은데요. 지금
But you
메타에서
do have a
이게
same
어느
hair, a similar hairstyle as
티어의
well.
어떤 서탱이라고 생각하십니까?
You think you are one of the top
지금
sub tanks?
메타에서 이렐은 이제 말 그대로 엄청 무난한
I
픽인데
think Irel's just a safe pick
이제
in this meta right now.
조합이 좀 꼬이면 무난하게
But when
그대로
you do
질
not
수도
have
있고
the
그런
when you do not have a
픽인 것
team comp
그럼
that
뱀픽이 되게
sorts perfectly, I
중요하겠네요.
think it's
같아요. 뱀픽이
actually
요즘
really
게임에
hard, even
엄청
with the
중요한
Irel.
것 같아요.
So
네.
drafting is
뱀픽을
actually
또 맡고
the
계시잖아요.
tough choice.
이 오늘 뱀픽 좀 어떠셨어요?
How did you think
전체적으로?
about the
오늘
draft
뱀픽이
entire
1, 2, 3
best
세트
of series?
전체적으로 너무 힘들었던 것
1 to
같은데
3 all games
이제
drafting was very tough
너무 안전하게
actually.
하려고 후반 조합만 뽑아서
I
초반에
think
너무
we
힘들었던
actually
것 같아요.
just we were looking for that
초반에
late
약간
game
좀 팀원들
late game
잡히는
team
모습도
comp too
살짝은
much,
나오고,
and we were
물론
harassed
승리긴 하지만 조금은
big time in the
좀
early game.
위험한 순간들이 있었어요.
네.
근데 오늘 어떻게 그렇게 침착하게 잘 극복할 수 있었던 것
There were a
같으세요?
lot of times where Feliz was
이제
actually
저희 팀 분위기가
having a lead.
이제 경기할
How were
때
you
되게
able
좋아진
to
것
catch
같아서
that
이제 죽어도 이제 괜찮다고 이제 후반 가면은
yeah, we were
이긴다고
saying
그런 식으로
early
해서
game we don't
여유
we're not
있게
as
게임했던
powerful
것 같아요.
early game.
좀
We have
오늘은 그래도
a lot
마음의
more
여유가 다들
par spikes,
있었나요?
네.
par spike at
그리고
the
또
end. So
1일로
we're
2대1
talking it's
상황이
okay
많이
to get few
펼쳐졌었어요.
kills.
특히
It's just okay. Let's go late game.
용해둥지에서는 두 명이 와서 이제 다미 선수와 함께 그 밟는 싸움을 했었는데 그럴 때마다 좀 어떤 생각을 하시면서 지켜내려고
When
하시는지
you're harassed by 2 or
궁금해요.
more members up there on the
이제
Dragon Shrine alone,
이렐이 원래
What did you
이제
think playing Irel?
조합마다 다르긴 하지만 이제 두 명
Depends on
오는
the team
걸로는
comp,
잘 안
but
죽거든요.
with just
이제
a
우리
two-man
팀이 올
gang,
때까지
it's really hard to actually get a
충분히
kill
시간을
to
끌 수 있을
Irel.
거라 생각해서
I think
네.
I thought I
최대한
could
시간을 벌었던 것 같아요.
buy a lot of
아,
time for the
맞아요.
teammates.
네.
That's what I was trying to do.
아 그리고 남은 경기 또 블라썸 남아 있는데 홍코너 선수랑 굉장히 친하신
You
걸로
have
알고
one more
있어요.
match.
네.
It's going to be
지금
against
같은
Blossom.
어떤 뭐 같은 탱커 완전 서브 탱커는
As you know,
아니지만
Honkono a
또
lot.
포지션 겹치시는데 의식되지 않나요?
이제
Does
대영이는
that bother
저
you
없으면 안 되죠.
anyway? But
이게 무슨
Honkono
말이죠?
can't
되게
do a thing
의미심장한
without
말
me.
같은데. 그러면은 지금 친구로서 또
So as
이제
a friend,
나중에
though,
경기에서 만나는데
that's a big
어떻게
shout out.
하실
Of course, you're
생각이시죠?
going
봐주시지
against
않을
him.
건가요?
In the same role now.
저희가 요즘에 많이 힘들어하니까 대영이가 저희를 좀 봐줘야 될 것 같아요.
I think we're having a hard time
좀
now.
봐줘야
So
될것
Honkono
같다.
should be
너무 뭐 오늘
should be playing a
이기신
little bit
다음에 너무
easier of a matchup.
겸손하신 거 아닌가 싶은데요. 또 지난 경기들로 약간
just play
걱정했을
one
팬들도 있을 것
comfortably.
같아요. 팬분들께 좀 한마디 마지막으로 부탁드릴게요.
Yeah, let's have our
지난
final
경기에
words.
저희가 너무 힘들게 이제 아쉽게 져가지고
Our
걱정을
last
해주신
match.
분들이 많은데
A lot of the
이제
fans were
더
worrying about us because of
열심히
the
연습해서
result.
좋은 모습 보여드리도록 노력하고 있으니까
We're really trying
많이
hard,
기대해 주시고 저희 이번에
practicing a lot to have
새로
better
나온
results.
장패드랑
And we
지금
actually
입고
have
있는 이거 유니폼
Our new
저희 SNS에 이제 템페스트
uniforms. You can
SNS에
have,
들어가
if you go to our
보시면
Tempest social
네,
media,
구매하실 수 있거든요.
you can buy the long mouse
저도
pad
많은
as well.
관심 부탁드립니다.
그럼
So,
저도 관심 갖고
If you want
구매하겠습니다.
to purchase,
네,
just come to
감사합니다.
our social
근데
media.
이거 뒤에
You'll be
이름이
able
다
to
써져 있는
purchase it.
거죠?
네,
but
뒤에
they don't ship
닉네임도
globally.
이제 정해서
Guys,
사실
just
수
to
있어요.
let you guys know, I already bought
오늘도
one.
MVP시니까 많이 다미 선수 거 많이 알겠습니다.
You want to
오늘
have one?
인터뷰 너무
Maybe
감사하고요.
text
승리
G
너무
Clef and
축하드려요.
maybe
네,
he'll help you
감사합니다.
out.
네, 알겠습니다. 그럼
Well,
여기서
that's
인터뷰
about it.
마치도록 하고요.
Thank you,
저희는 잠시
Dami, and
쉬었다가
that's
이
it
경기로
for the
돌아올